All right, so this is day 3 of 365 days of horsemanship. Can already feel like I'm gonna lose track of the days really fast. Day 3. Today was a really good day. Came up. I was also, feeding the whole yard today, so brought Mia up just to get some hay, to make sure she had something a little bit in her stomach before we played. And I took her in the arena. I had kind of looked, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And I looked on the wall in the tack room. I have the Pirelli online games. So I kind of had a look on there for something that I could do that was going to work out for us with where we're at now, like physically, because she's obviously had quite a long time off. And I thought, okay, yeah, zone 5 driving, we could do that. Like, that's something that we could do pretty much just in walk. But it's also like interesting for her mind. We've not really done a lot of it yet. I wouldn't say that we've like mastered that skill. So that's a good goal for today. Okay, let's go and do that. So we went out into the arena, and interestingly, like right from the start, there was a lot of like yawning and licking and chewing. And I was doing a lot of like kind of stroking and touching and being at that like touching distance. And she was releasing a lot to begin with, which was good but surprising. And then we kind of walked around a little bit, but it was sort of like sticky. I didn't really feel like we got into like sometimes I go in and she like really wants to move. Today was like not really one of those days. She kind of like just wanted to stand still and like think about things and look at things and sniff things, and that was kind of okay. We were kind of going along, everything was going okay. And then when we started looking at moving her left shoulder, which is always sticky for her, it got a little bit more tricky. And I asked a couple times, and it was kind of, we were making a bit of progress, but it wasn't really like where I wanted it to be. And then we had one where I felt like maybe I got too direct line, and I was like still asking, and she's like backing up, and it's no. And I'm really trying hard, like not to, when she says no, not to just push harder and make it happen, because I know that I can push harder and make it happen. Like, I know that I could have put more pressure on her and blocked her from getting out of the way, put her in the right spot to like make her yield it. But I'm really trying hard not to do that anymore, because if she said no and then I make her do it, it's almost like it doesn't stick then. Like, she knows what I'm asking her for, because we've done it, so much before. And I just think like, I'm really noticing that the stuff that isn't sticking is the stuff that I like pushed. And I think that the psychology of her wanting to do it is like so important for her feeling okay. If she doesn't feel okay doing it, then it doesn't work out for us. So I kind of stopped there after that one, that I kind of thought, oh, this is getting a bit direct line. Like, I could put more pressure on, but like the answer's basically just no. So we started working kind of a little bit on just like yielding, like walking, because I wanted to put her in a circle. And then as soon as I like really asked her to walk with me, it was like the head went out immediately, and we like lost the connection. And I was like, like this I don't want either. Like, I don't want to get back into that place where she's just like trotting around with her head over here, and she's like off in her own little world somewhere, just like being a robot and doing what I want her to do. So we kind of worked on that a little bit, just like trying, like asking. And that's kind of like, we're getting a little bit. And then we stopped. And I asked her for lateral flexion towards me, just to bend her neck. And she released, and she looked at me, and it was like, oh. And that was like the nicest moment that we'd had. And I was like, okay, so maybe like I just needed to make the question a bit easier. And I was kind of thinking, okay, that's a good place to stop. I feel like I've learned something there. And she, you know, had licked and chewed, and it felt like that we were after, like, it felt like we came in and the connection was good. Like, this is my little connection graph. So, you know, connection's good, connection's good, connection's good. We're like growing a little bit, and then it's like things are starting to get tricky, and we're kind of going down, and things are getting harder and harder, and we're not really getting on, and I'm asking her things, but it's not really happening. And then, oh, okay, now we're back. But it was like in that moment we were back, and I thought, okay, that's a good place to stop. Like, that's, like, I think I've learned something at least, and I just, you know, I can't expect, like, Rome wasn't built in a day, you know, like, just come back tomorrow, be consistent, try again, keep going. And I came over to change the line to finish with her. She kind of, like, didn't really want to go. But I called her, and she came over with me to the gate. And for some reason, like, automatically my hand went to the halter knot rather than to the line, and it seemed like she was like, yeah, take the halter off, take the halter off. And I was like, okay, cool. So I took the halter off and walked off, and immediately she followed me, and I was like, wow, okay. And I've not been playing with a whip or a carrot stick or like any kind of stick thing at all recently, just because I found that for what we're doing I don't need it, and if I don't need it, why have it, right? Like, I would prefer sort of not to have it. In my ideal world, I would do everything that I'm doing without any tools at all. So yeah, so I've stopped using that completely for now. I don't know if that'll last or not, we'll see. Yeah, and I'm like running around with her, and she's at liberty, and she's like so high energy, and I just let it go. I just let everything go. Like, I just let all my being particular go. I just went, I don't really care if you're by my shoulder or if you're here or if you're there. Like, I don't care where you are. Like I'm just gonna run over here and see if you follow me. And she did, and it was like, okay. So it's like, you know, she's following me, but she's like behind at a distance. And then she'll catch me up a bit, and then when she catches me up, I'm like, oh, nice, yeah, that's a cool place to be. Let's like rub and stop and chill out together. And then I would go again and again and again, and it was like, oh my god, like, just not being so particular with her about everything is actually been really good. Like, not asking her for too much or expecting too much of her actually was just really good. And she was really like feisty, and the head is swishing and the ears are back, and it's like, it's play but it's also aggression, and so it was kind of like about trying to keep that boundary and bring my energy down when I felt like she was getting too high, and that went well as well, definitely. And I definitely felt like that, yeah, that I had some goal. Like, I would say my goal with Liberty is to get to a place where she can be like sort of, I guess, short distance Liberty circles, where she's not like pushing me with her shoulder, because again, there's a lot of this like left shoulder pushing. And I did ask her to yield it for me once, and she did, like, really nicely, and I was like, yeah, thanks. And she barged me with it one time, and so I like kind of barged her back, like, dude, like, what are you doing? But there was no like anger, frustration. It was just really lighthearted. Yeah, a really nice session. So I was really pleased with that, because I was a bit nervous to go back into the arena. Yeah, the first like half, I didn't really feel like I got anything done, because I was just like walking and not even really doing much of that. And I was thinking, oh, like, I think for my like fitness stuff with her, I'm gonna have to go out. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do fitness in the arena. But then actually at Liberty, like the last like 10 minutes at Liberty, obviously we were, you know, running around, trotting around, whatever, and actually that was going quite well. So yeah, so that was good. So first day back in the arena seemed like it was going quite well. Yeah, then I spent about 15 minutes with Lawrence, which was really nice. I'm going to post a little picture on my Facebook of him guarding a little baby while she was sleeping, which was very cute. And I had a nice conversation with him as well. Like, he was just kind of chilling, and I did some rubbing on him and some touching and all of that good stuff. Yeah, and then he went to come and see me. kind of showed me where he wanted to be, where he wanted me to be. And yeah, he was just super just happy to see me and happy to be around. He wasn't too aggressive. And I think the sun coming back was just really nice for him. I think he like comes out of hibernation, and especially after taking him for that walk yesterday, and it seemed really amazing yesterday, but I was like, you know, obviously a bit nervous that because I'd like asked him and he said no so many times, whether he would be mad with me today or whether like it would affect our relationship at all. And actually he seemed really positive today. So yeah, overall a really good day.